Next, a development in the diplomatic spat between the US and Denmark over Greenland. The Americans have appointed a special envoy to Greenland, a move that has offended the Danes, who count Greenland, of course, as their territory since the 18th century. Let's bring in Henrik Dahl. Henrik Dahl is Danish MEP for the Liberal Alliance to get a perspective on this from Copenhagen. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Tell us what you think about this move by US President Trump.
Well, we're not surprised because the Trump administration has made similar announcements before, but we find them 100% unacceptable. And I agree with our government that a first step would be to summon the US ambassador. But I think we need to take more steps. Apparently, we cannot rely on the United States as an ally, but we have European allies and we need to work closer with them.
The idea of the United States taking, to use that word, taking Greenland, has been around for a number of generations. Trump has brought this back repeatedly as a concept. Do you think there is anything in what he says about this is required by the United States for its strategic security, or do you think this is just a pretext?
It's hard to say what the real reason is, but I think we need to take Donald Trump very seriously because during his first term in office, he also wanted to, in those days, to buy Greenland, and this was, of course, rejected by the Danish government. The interesting thing is that the matter of Denmark's sovereignty over Greenland was settled in 1916, 1917. So during the Wilson administration, during the First World War, where we sold the US Virgin Islands to America. And in connection with that deal, the Secretary of State in those days, his name was Robert Lansing, signed a declaration in which, on behalf of the United States, he recognized Danish sovereignty over Greenland. So if you go to the archives of the Foreign Ministry of the United States, you will find that they recognize our sovereignty.
The vast majority of Greenland's 57,000 inhabitants, I understand, want to become independent from Denmark, but don't necessarily want to become part of the United States. This is me referring to a poll conducted in January of this year. Greenland has a right to decide where it goes, doesn't it? And I suppose Denmark, in that sense, would be very willing to help Greenland in making that decision.
Greenland has a constitutional right to determine its own future. Like you see, in many other places, you have separatists and you have unionists, and it's not exactly 50-50, but it's not a settled matter that they just want a separate state. It's if you look at the polls, it changes over time. I think that I agree that Greenland should be a master of its own fate, but it's not involved in any idea that has been put forward by anybody in Greenland that they should be some kind of U.S. territory. I don't think the population in Greenland finds that their brothers and sisters, if you will, in Alaska are very well off. So they don't see the U.S. as very good at handling the original populations of Arctic territories.
And Henrik, if you had the US ambassador in front of you now, if you were looking at him face to face, what would you say to him? What would be your message to the US ambassador?
Well, it would be a diplomatic version of back off, because this is really unheard of, that you are challenging the sovereignty of one of your allies. It makes absolutely no sense. And I really hope that the European Union will get together and express its support for us.
Henrik Dahl, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your assessment of the situation with us. We completely appreciate that. Henrik Dahl, Danish MEP for the Liberal Alliance. Thank you, sir. We continue to watch developments on that situation with Greenland. Thanks again, Henrik, for being with us.